Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of This is Tech Talks. And today we have another guest, Dan. And I met Dan last year in person. We know each other from probably more than a year now. So there was a funny incident which happened during almost like last year, right, Dan? It was
Yeah.
Universe 2024.
Yeah, you now I posted like a um a GitHub heat map that belonged to Dan Rowe.
Yeah. So he's a
Yeah.
very good friend, Dan Rowe, who works for Next. Like, and now it's under Russell, so they all work for Russell. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I posted that and I just said and Dan Rowe's one was like green, like all
Yeah.
green. And I
Right.
said I just said this is what a GitHub stars heat map looks like, by the way. And then Santosh saw it, who is a GitHub star but does not have a completely green thing. So
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, I just wanted to like share. Of course, this is not only like where you have to have green heat map like Daniel has, because he has been doing like probably he works every day, or he had some AI working for him. Probably he multiplied already before the AI came into the picture. But yeah, and then yeah, we got connected, and then we got the chance to meet in person this year during one of the conference in Amsterdam, where we
mhm.
were actually at the same booth
Yeah.
for Code Rap. And then I actually we discussed about the idea of having a podcast together, and then I had to follow Dan a lot. Just kidding, no. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
uh,
Yeah.
no. So yeah, that and then we said, yeah, let's do that. Let's do a podcast because Dan has been running his agency, design agency, and he works for multiple clients. And of course, over the period of time, like people wants to maybe start their own business, and I think this episode will be really helpful to them. And we also have our host, another co-host, Angela. Hey, Angela, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. I think we met after a long time. It's been some
Yes,
time. We recorded together. So
it's been a long time. Yeah.
yeah, so welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this episode, so we call it as Pixel to Profit, of course. So welcome to From Pixel to Profit. Today we are going to dive deep into journey of turning your creative passion into a thriving business. With this is what Dan does. To start, what's the biggest means? So just to start with the first question, right, Dan? Because a lot of people wants to do this. I don't think so. There are people now who don't want to convert their passion into a business. So what's the biggest misconception we have designers, or we as like designers have, when they first think about opening their own studio?
I think there's another misconception in that same thing where people will advise people against quitting their job to pursue something for themselves. A lot of people will say, "Oh, you can do it as like a side hustle." I personally don't think you can. I don't think that you can dedicate enough time to both things to be successful in both. And I don't think you can have enough. Once you start enjoying your side project, you'll start despising your main job, and then you'll end up just not enjoying yourself. So, I mean, I got laid off,
Hmm.
so I just forced into it, kind of. But misconception about starting would be that you have to ease your way into it. I would say I don't think you do. No, I think you can just attack it. And
Hmm.
I've said it before on other podcasts. Like, I actually think it's quite easy if you just do it. It's a classic cliche of like, um, that the hardest thing is starting, right? But it is true. Like it's a cliche for a reason because the hardest thing is getting started. But once you get started, and the problem is if you have a 9 to 5 while you're doing it,
Hmm.
there's no there's no sort of push. There's no real reason to make you succeed. Like I've had plenty of random side projects never made a penny off any of them. But when I had to do something, I had an invoice in a week, like done, and it never stopped because you have to, right?
Yeah. Makes sense. Like, of course, many of us have this dream, right? Going solo or maybe having our own business someday, but not many of
Mm.
us take that leap of faith that we can do it. And I think you mentioned a very, very good topic. Of course, go ahead and get started. And this is how you will learn.
Yeah, I had a call with a old manager of mine actually from years ago this
Mhm.
morning, and he is like almost begging to get laid off because he
Wow.
wants that push to do his own thing. And he said, I've been feeling like this for like 18 months,
Mm.
like living in this weird void of like, I know I want something more, but I'm getting paid monthly by a 9 to 5 and it's comfortable, and you're sort of in this, you're just not happy really. So I think,
Mm.
yeah, I've made plenty of jumps in my life, and I think the most important thing now is just you have to be happy, because you know you could earn $1 million a year doing something awful, and that'll be really good for the first 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that you will start thinking, oh, maybe it's not worth the money. You know, that time will come at some point. Maybe not 6 months, maybe 2 years, but it will come where you start prioritizing happiness, I think.
Yeah. So of course, so you told us about like getting laid off was the pivotal moment for you. Do you
Yeah.
think that, or maybe if you spoke to another other successful studio owners, what they think, like what worked for them? What was the
A, a,
moment when
lo-
they decided to jump from like or board on to the ship of entrepreneurship?
a lot of them got laid off that I know of. A lot of people
Interesting.
got laid off. I have a business partner now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another designer who I like permanently subcontract,
Mm-hmm.
and he started his studio when he got laid off. So that's always a thing. I mean, I don't think I've heard like rumors of people that they have them dreams of like, oh, what I'll do is I'll build the side project, and then I'll try and go part time on my main job, and then I'll slowly start to. I don't know anyone who's actually done it. I'm not sure. Every story that I've heard is like got laid off, got fired, got made redundant, then made the jump. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's something to that, right? Because like people are very creatures of comfort, right? Like why would you put yourself through pressure? But people are very good under pressure. So like if you're forced into the pressure, then you'll succeed. But I don't think people will willingly throw themselves into pressure. Um, I started doing that on purpose and enjoying it in my career, but like I'd always leave a job for a higher paid, higher pressure job because
Mm-hmm.
I know I'd learn more and become a better engineer and stuff. But I got burnt out doing that for like so many years, then I stopped. But yeah,
That's most of us, right? I mean, we actually work for a company, we get burned out, and then we look for another job where we can burn out again.
yeah. But hopefully you gain skills on the way, right? That's otherwise you just burn out and hate yourself.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's one of the important thing which is very important. If you're getting burnout and you're not learning anything, that then definitely there's something wrong, and you're wasting your time. So
Yeah.
be careful. Okay. So my next question is about like, of course, when you go out, like you become an entrepreneur, and one thing I think we all can agree here because we are engineers. Engineers are very bad at communication. So, what do you
Mhm.
think, like before becoming an entrepreneur or becoming or like having this business hat or wearing this business hat, what is the foundation which you need to work on?
Being able, I think there's two. There's one, being able to present things. So like I was in roles, but when I was in the army, I was in roles that were very presentation focused. I was an instructor, so I was always talking loud to hundreds of people at a time and having to be very deliberate and precise with my words. So I don't really say filler words anymore. I don't really say I've sort of got myself out of saying those words now. So I think that, which is something that you can learn very easily, that combined with the ability to sell something is very important. I said it this morning to someone else, and I've also said it like multiple times in the last couple of months to people, that I would never take a sales job for another company, but I love selling my own stuff. So being able to communicate effectively, which again might be a cliche, like, oh, you need to be able to communicate, but being able to talk and sound like you know what you're talking about is super important. And engineers have these opportunities, right? Especially engineers that work in big companies. You can just go to conferences and try and do talks. It's exactly what I did. Is when I got burnt out in engineering management, I dropped into DevRel. And then at DevRel, you get to speak at conferences. I spoke at a meetup like 2 months ago for CodeRabbit, where I talked about their MCP server. I had no business really being there, but I just did it because it's fun practice, right? So the biggest thing, learn to actually talk properly.
Yeah, that's very important. I think good thing about you, Dan. Like, of course, you said you were in military. I think there is the one skill which might be like you might have learned already, like speaking to people. I think that is something which we lack when it comes to Asia, right? Well, most of the Asian countries, students are very shy. They don't want to go out and talk to people. Now it's changing, but I'm sure, Angela, you can agree with this when I say that it was
Yes.
not the practice in our times, right? Early 90s, 2000, people used to just do their stuff, go home, that's it, enjoy. No meetups, no conferences. Even had no idea
Like that.
what is that.
Right. So let's talk about the pixel part, the actual design work. How do you define your studio's unique design philosophy or niche, and how important is that in attracting the right potential clients?
Yeah, design. I think there's two niches and philosophies there. One is how it actually looks, and one is how and who I'm trying to sell it. And I can tell you what it is right now, but that will probably change. So right now, if I had complete creative freedom with clients, I would have very loud design work. But that's not the case. So I have to sort of strip it down. And this is where it comes with like the niche. Currently, right now, I'm trying to target young funded tech startups, right? Because there's a high probability that I will know the tech to a degree. There's a very high probability that I will know the audience, which is why it works so well with CodeRabbit, right? We have a design retainer with CodeRabbit, and I know their audience, so it's very easy to design for them. But my angle on things is more, let's just try and focus on what you're trying to achieve. Like, I think that's the question that gets everyone. Like, I may have lost clients because of it, because of they want something, but they don't know why. They don't know why they want a website that has certain things. They don't know why they want a new logo. You know, so you kind of have to ask like why, because that then helps me in telling the story through design, right? But yeah, when I'm selling to people, you have to sort of I have to bend to that niche in a degree, but I am trying to get into more of a crypto niche purely because they actually like going loud with design, especially the big projects. I'm not talking like the meme coins. I mean like the big projects like Doodles and stuff they have like big partnerships with Red Bull and stuff, and they do big, colorful designs, and that's where I want to be. But paying the bills means I have to rely on my background, and
Yeah.
For now.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, very important thing which you mentioned, like so asking the question why, which we generally don't, right? We just get the requirement to start working on it, and then there's no satisfaction, right? It's like, okay, we got the work, we delivered it, that's it, wrapped up, and probably client will be satisfied that time, and maybe next time probably if not satisfied, probably he will move on. The client will move on and maybe work with someone else. But if you ask the right question, the chances are high that the customer will come back.
Yeah, I think it comes from the engineering management stuff as well, because I used to get, you have a lot of product people coming with like, oh, we need this, and then they think they know what it's going to look like and act like. Then you have to ask them. You can't just give that to your engineers and say, "Here, build this." I mean, you could, but it definitely helps to be like, what is this exact thing trying to achieve?
Yeah.
There's probably an easier way to do it, right? When it comes to engineering, but when it comes to design, it's more like, if somebody's entire thing is, we want our website to send people to another website. Well, that's a weird use case, but you can't design it like a typical landing page. That's the thing, right? Or if they want to sign up to something, there's plenty of different things, but it's difficult with a lot of people, because what you'll find is a lot of people don't know what they want. That's like the biggest problem. And we had a client they were called Hacktron. We just did their logo. They're like they're like evil CodeRabbit. Is how I would describe them. They're like a code review tool, but when they find vulnerabilities, they will exploit them. So it's like a offensive security tool that is built on code reviews. So it's really good. We redesigned their logo, and they were great to work with, but at one point we had to agree that you don't really know what you want. From your point of view, you want something that looks cool, and we want to give you something that symbolizes something. So we need to sort of meet in the middle. After 2 revisions, you start to feel like, you're not really sticking to what you said at the beginning, so it's clear that you don't really understand. And I've fallen foul of that in the past. I've had clients 8 revisions, and we've just parted ways. So I handle it a lot better now by just telling them to their face, like, you're paying us to do a job, to be experts at something, so let us do it, and then we'll give you something nice.
Yeah, makes sense. So, okay, another question from my side is, of course, when you get a client, right, and you have some expectation from your side as well, right? So you want to have like high standards. So how do you make sure, like, do you have any systems in place or habits for making sure the product which is delivered at the end is a high quality product?
As opposed to if the client, there's different pieces, isn't there? We have systems in place that ensure we get what's in the client's head into practice. So we have a 45 question questionnaire. It asks everything from, we have a whole slider system at the start, from like masculine to feminine, loud to quiet, bold to, so we can get a good vibe from that. We ask them all about brands they admire, brands they hate, imagery they like, imagery they don't like, mission, all these. We try and get everything out of them. Then we'll take that and put together a mood board. Then we'll have a call with them, and we'll go over the questionnaires and the mood boards. We all agree on it. So at that point, a lot of clients are like, oh, yeah, that's what, like, we just worked with Aaron Francis, right? he has a project coming up that he spoke about, database school. We can't share the designs yet, unfortunately, but they're awesome. And he brought a mood board, his own mood board, which was great. So that project's probably one of our best projects we've ever done. And it was down to making sure the foundations of the project are really solid. But the other side of this question is, what if the client just wants something that is objectively ugly? Right?
Okay.
Like, what if they do? I mean, there's not much you can really do. I think what most designers would do is they would deliver it and then not put it in the portfolio. That's not every project is a portfolio piece, right? Like, you only put the best of the best. Like, we only have space on ours for 4, so we'll swap people out. Like, we bring it, if we get a better like, as soon as database school project goes live and we can show it, that's going to take over one of the other ones on the portfolio because it just looks better from our point of view. So I don't know if that answered the question, but that's where we are.
Yeah, got the idea. So do you also do like this A/B testing just to make sure, like, okay, this design?
Yeah, well, what I do, I think that can be almost dangerous if you're just doing that with the client, because it's almost like a meme. Like, if you show the client 5 designs and you really don't like one of them, they're going to pick the one you don't like. Like, that always happens, right? So what I do is, if I have, so after the questionnaire, after the mood board, after the call, they've paid the initial 50%, we're now working and they're waiting for our concepts, right? If I get like a good initial concept and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think this kind of looks okay, I'll post it on Twitter and I'll ask people what they see. I won't say like, oh, is this good? I'll just say like, what do you see? Because like, a lot of the time they'll see something that is either bad or that has nothing to do with the client at all. Like the Hacktron one, we posted an early concept. People were seeing like razor blades and stuff, and I was like, well, that's not inherently bad, but it's nothing that we were trying to portray. So that's a form of A/B testing. We get a public opinion, and they usually will tell you what they think as well.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
If you pass that phase, it's usually pretty good.
Cool. Yep. And so, of course, we talked about the work and we talked about like how you should move into the business, but the most important part of doing a business is profit, right? I mean, of course, if you're not getting paid or not getting profit, then there's a problem. So, and pricing, of course, when you start something new, pricing is often a problem for designers, right? So what's your advice for setting the rates that actually reflect your value and ensure that you're profitable?
Yeah, I think my pricing journey has been very typical, where like last year I was charging like £75 for a logo. That would take me multiple days of work, which boils your hourly rate down to like 35 cents an hour, which is not good, right? Obviously. So over time, when we started to hit, well, I had a lot of people at the start telling me, oh, triple your prices. So I think one bit of advice is, if other people are telling you to raise your prices, then raise your prices. Like, there shouldn't be any ego, like, raise your prices. The second, and what we do now, we do 2 forms of, we do like 2 types of pricing now. One is retainer based, which we do boil down to hourly rate. So if we have like a retainer for 20 hours a week, then we'll boil that down to a healthy hourly rate. And that's how we work on that. And then we get a block, we get a set price every month, right? The other one, when it comes to like longer projects, is because it's me and someone else now, they get 50% of all projects pre-tax, right? So what I need to work out is, okay, if I get a $10,000 project, he's getting 5,000 instantly. I'm getting 5,000, but then I'm losing like 1,750 to tax straight away, which means I'm only getting like, I think it's like 3,750 or something from 10K is what I get in my pocket afterwards. So using that knowledge, we now price our larger projects off of what we would like to accept each month. So like if 10K is our minimum monthly cost, then for a 2-week or a 3-week, or for a 2-week project, if we had 2 of them, maybe we could do 5K each. If it's 1 project in a month, 10K. If it's a 6-week project, that could be a 20K project because it's stretching into the second month and extending. Now that's not a set in stone pricing thing, but we have to like look at predicted time that it's going to cost us, which is basically the same as the hourly rate thing, but where we have to predict ahead to, oh, this is probably going to take us 3 months, and so this is how much we should charge. It's quite bespoke, to be honest. I don't think you can do a set price because we did set prices, and what happens is that set price soon gets outdated. Let's say you start doing $1,000 projects, and your set price is $1,000, but then a few $4,000 projects start coming in, and then you get a $10,000 one come in. If you're now doing $10,000 projects, and then someone comes along and they purchase a $1,000 project because you had it on your website and they can actually buy it or something like I did, I now have to fulfill that project at $1,000, and I'm potentially sacrificing the time that I could have had a $10,000 project. You know, so it's that smaller value project is now taking my time, which is now not valued at that same level. It gets a little bit complex. That's why we just do bespoke proposals based on the client, based on the deliverables, based on the time. You know, you wouldn't. I've said it before. Like, you wouldn't charge Nike the same as you charge a local coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
You charge Nike more because Nike, there's more risk involved in Nike. They get more out of it. There's so many different factors. So yeah, now it's a very bespoke sort of thing right now.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, Angela, any question from your side?
Yeah, is my mic audible
Yep.
now?
I,
Am I audible? Okay. So yeah, I wanted to ask, beyond just getting clients, building relationships with the right clients is pivotal in entrepreneurship. What strategies do you use for client communication, project management, and ensuring that the client satisfaction is achieved and it leads to repeat business and referrals?
Yeah, this one's also like really bespoke because some people, like, I will be very over communicative if people want me to be, but some people don't want to do it.
Mhm.
Some people also only want to communicate in emails. Some only want to have calls. Some only want to have Slack. So I'll just ask them. If we're talking about client, like project management, communication, I'll ask them whatever they want. What we're starting to do now is try and force them into our way. So we're going to try and force them into pre-booked periodic calls at milestones, because a really hard thing to do is nail down a client for a call if they're busy. We've had it before. We were sat on a delivered project for a week and we couldn't get the client to book a call to deliver it. That's a week gone. We weren't working in that week, but we had a project waiting to get delivered, and it was a bit annoying. So we do that for actually managing the projects internally. We use Linear. I used Linear as an engineering manager. I tried other tools, but I know Linear, and Linear is great with all the APIs and integrations. You can make it into whatever you want. Like we have it pinged through to Slack. I'm going to be setting up a whole system where it can ping the client with a Figma link when the task is set to in review. And I need to spend the time to set that up, but that's how we're doing it. We're trying to always be one step ahead of the client when it comes to comms. So they're never asking for things. That's my main desire. But yeah, when it comes to referrals, some people just don't care. Some people will finish the project, and to them, it was just a business transaction, which it is. So they'll pay their final invoice, they'll get their files, and that'll be it. We have some clients that have said, "Oh, we'll like if we get anything in, we'll give it to you," and I just smile, like you probably won't. That's fine. Oh, we haven't had a sad client. Every client's paid. Every client's had their files delivered. So that's the best you can do, really. I think trying to get referrals and trying to get it's if I paid somebody money to do a job and then they came asking for referrals, I'd feel a bit weird about that. So we just try and do the best we can in the project, and then if it leads to referrals, that's a good thing.
Nice.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when I was going solo, so I did like consulting for like more close to 2 years when I was in India before I left for Germany, and uh, so someone referred me a client, and eventually we didn't work. I worked for 2 weeks, to be frank, and that was the time I had job. Like I was doing it parallel just to see like if things work out, and glad that things didn't work out with him. Like that client was like very irritating, and I ended up telling him like, go to hell. Take your code, take your money. I don't want to do anything with you. And that's the start. But luckily, I mean, so I got lucky probably because of course people knew me, and then my connection was good. And as soon as I posted that I want to work with people, I got good clients, and then I ended up working for them for 2 years almost. So I think everyone has this bad actors like when working with in the business. How you tackle them?
Well, how do I handle bad clients?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we haven't really had bad ones. We've had ones that try and get more than they are owed.
Oh.
And that's why at the beginning we have like a proposal, which they sign, and then a client agreement that they sign. And the client agreement's like quite long. And it covers a lot. It covers a lot of things, even some things that may be stupid. But it covers a lot of things, so we can always just go back to that. Like if they, at the beginning we were kind of too nice, like we'd give more revisions than they were owed. Now it's like, after that second revision, you need to pay more because that's really what we do now. We stick to our guns now, essentially.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, I was new and I had no idea about like having this contract thing, so of course I got paid. Anyways,
Yeah.
So let's move on to. I think we are almost at the end of the podcast. So I'll just ask a few questions and about like maybe advices. So one thing, we were talking about mistakes, right? So what's a common mistake you see new design studio owners make, which actually makes this profit go away, or maybe they're not profitable enough and quit?
Trying to sell stuff for free, I think, devalues you. I think like, did I do it? Yeah, probably. I can't remember if I did do it for free, but yeah, I would advise. If I see that now, I instantly think I would never work if you like people that sell. Even now, I sold a logo for like £75 when I started, but if I saw somebody doing that now, I'd instantly think that it's low quality. Like I do think the biggest thing now is like you have to value yourself for other people to actually trust in you and give you money. Like, yeah, I think if a lot of people upped their prices, they would get more money. Like not just because of the increase, they'd get more clients because they look better, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, Angela, any question from you?
Yeah. So now that we are almost at the end of the podcast, for anyone who's currently listening and are currently sketching out their business plans, what one actionable step they can take today to move from pixel to profit?
Today, well, to move, ideally, you'd have some sort of runway financially. So you need to figure that out, and then you need to figure out, because I think the things that stop people are runway and being worried about not being able to pay their bills. So you need to figure out the bare minimum you have to earn every single month to pay bills. Like, I know that for myself. I pay myself decent money every month now because I have consistent clients. But if they were to stop, I'd revert back to the minimum payment required, which would preserve my company's cash flow, but still pay my bills, right? But for now, I just pay myself more so I can put that in savings where it works more than just sitting in a business account, right? But I think that's it. That's the actionable thing. Like, that's what stops everyone. Money stops everyone. So if you understand the money required, then all you need to do is map some sort of offer or service to that money, and then you're one step closer.
Interesting. Thank you for this.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, okay, before we wrap up, Dan, where can people reach out to you in case they have some maybe advice, or maybe they want to get some advice from you?
Twitter really is the only thing now, and
Mhm.
that's at brand by Dan.
Okay.
Brand by Dan.
I'll just add it in the notes so people can find you and maybe connect with you. And yeah, so thanks again, Dan, for your time of recording this episode, and we had fun talking about it. Yeah, and thanks, Angela, again for joining us, and I'll be looking forward to our next episode. Yeah,
Anytime.
cool.
Oh yeah, sure.